All right, all right. Mic check 1, 2. We're doing this live. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I'm going to do a real quick check just to make sure that we're live on the right channel. Oh, yeah, I do see it. All right, cool, 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 cool. All right. So, all right, y'all. Jab, Jab Talk Nation. We're doing it live today. I was going to record it and post it up later on today. I was like, you know what? I'm going to catch some football later on today. And let me just jump right in to talk about last night's fight between Jaime Munguia and John Ryder. All right, let's talk about it. If you're just joining in, come and say hello. So let me talk about this fight. Okay, so Jaime Munguia won last night. He beat John Ryder by stoppage. They threw in the towel, and Ryder said, in his whole camp said, no mas. He was taking a beating, and they decided to throw it in. Now, going into it, going leading up to this fight, I had mixed feelings. It was interesting to see. I was curious to see what Jaime Munguia would do against a John Ryder. We all know that John Ryder lost to Canelo Alvarez in Mexico in a 12-round unanimous decision in favor of Canelo Alvarez. Canelo didn't look his best, but he still dominated and put a beating on John Ryder. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he broke John Ryder's nose in the third round. But Canelo couldn't put him away. Now, whether or not, I mean, there's all these variables of the pressure of being at home in Mexico and all this other stuff. That's besides the point. All right, there's no argument there. Um, no need to argue that. The bottom line is that Canelo put a beat down on John Ryder and won that unanimously. Now here comes Jaime Munguia stepping into the 168 division, going up against John Ryder, and you can tell that this fight was curated. It was perfectly orchestrated by Golden Boy to be able to put Munguia up against a fighter that is beatable, that just finished a fight where he got a beat down by Canelo Alvarez. So Golden Boy knew what they were doing in this fight. Golden Boy knew what they were doing. And Eddie Hearns was game for it. He's like, hey, this is an opportunity. He thought that his boy John Ryder had the opportunity to beat Munguia, which if you saw Munguia's last fight, I mean, there was a lot of Munguia was also exposed. He's hit and miss. He's gotten better, but it's not like Canelo better. You saw with Canelo Alvarez getting better substantially on every fight. Jaime Munguia, we didn't quite, we've been seeing like slow progression. Now he's progressing, but slowly. So his last fight, I believe it was Domachenko. Is that how you pronounce it? It was a tough fight, and and Domachenko gave him hell, and it made it really interesting, and which Munguia ended up pulling off. But now he's fighting Ryder, and last night we got to see what that looked like and at what level Jaime is at. Now, let me just go ahead and say this. Golden Boy at post fight was saying that, hey, Jaime Munguia made a statement. Jaime Munguia made a statement last night, and there were hoorah, let's go, and he's ready for Canelo. He's ready for the big fights. Now, I'm sorry, y'all. Again, I'm going to keep it real. Okay, I'm going to keep it real as a fight fan. I don't believe that Jaime Munguia made a statement last night, and here's why. Sure, Munguia stopped him. He early on he was dominating. John Ryder in the middle of those rounds, he had some moments where he was alive and landing some pretty good shots on Munguia, and then Munguia turned it on, put the pressure, and closed him out. Now, props to Munguia. Munguia did what he had to do to beat Ryder and knocked him down in the early rounds, and then finished him off in fashion. No no shade on that. I do believe that Munguia did a great job and did what he had to do. Now, everybody say, well, he didn't, Canelo wasn't able to do that. So that way, so Jaime made, statement. Well, here's two important factors. Number one, Ryder just got his last fight got beat up pretty badly against Canelo. When you get a beat down like that, being in boxing, you see even in the history of boxing, when fighters get beat down like that, um, fighters are rarely the same. Okay, we've seen that in the history. So Ryder got beat up pretty badly by Canelo. So it wasn't the same Ryder. And if you look at this Ryder in comparison to Canelo, it was a different Ryder. This Ryder didn't look as well conditioned. He didn't look. Nobody talks about it. Nobody's talking about it. Okay, but I'm going to talk about it. He didn't look well conditioned. Sure, he was in shape or whatever, but he wasn't like in the top tip shape that he had going up against Canelo. Canelo wasn't putting the pressure like he did against like other fighters. But Canelo was fighting a very strategic fight, and Ryder landed some good shots, right? But we didn't see that Ryder last night against Munguia. He was a lot more cautious. He had his moments, but it wasn't. We didn't see that type of ferociousness that we saw against Canelo Alvarez. What's going on, Robert? Good to see you, man. Here, boom, boom. What's up, man? What's up, man? We're over here just talking about last night's fight with Munguia and Ryder, my man. And I was gonna do a pre-recorded video, but I decided, it's been a minute. Let me go ahead and do it live. So here you are, man. So good to see you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Let me know where you're tuning in from, bro. And also let me know in the comment section if you watched the fight last night with Munguia and Ryder. Let me know what you thought about the fight. What are your thoughts? We're talking about it, man. So what I was saying here is that Ryder did not look the same. This was a different type of Ryder. He was a lot more ferocious. He was edgier. This Ryder was a little bit more cautious, and and Munguia did his thing. Now everybody's saying that Munguia is making a statement and that Munguia is ready for Canelo and he's ready for any 168 pounder. And all that jazz. Right now, everybody's like putting Munguia as like the top dog, and I'm here to say that I disagree. I don't think Munguia. Yes, he did look good. He closed out, Ryder, but I just don't think that he's nowhere near Canelo's level. I really don't. I think he would get beaten by Canelo. I think Canelo beats him within 6 rounds. I really do. If we saw a Canelo that was the pressure fighter Canelo, the one who will really go at it at 100%. I think that Canelo beats him within 6 rounds. I really do. Um, Maybe a little longer. Munguia does have a chin, and he can take some fights, but take some punches. But I don't see Munguia at Canelo's. Yeah, man. There you go. Boom. I'm gonna put that up here. Canelo knocks him out early. I agree, Robert. Like I don't understand what people are saying that Munguia would be competitive, and De La Hoya and Bernard saying, "Oh, he made a statement tonight." I don't think he made a statement. I don't. He looked good. Yeah, he beat him, but he beat already beaten down fighter in Ryder. It was a perfect opponent for him, and I think the statement was, and this is kind of their narrative, Robert. And let me know what you think about this. Golden Boy was just saying, well, and I'm pretty sure they were whispering in his ear, "Hey, knock him out early, make the statement, and do something that Canelo didn't do." I mean, if that's all you need to do to motivate and get this guy out of there, to all of a sudden coin him as the top dog or one of the top contender for Canelo, and even the commentators are, oh yeah, he puts him up, up very top now. He can definitely fight Canelo. No, Canelo destroys him. David Benavidez destroys him. Hell, David Morrell would probably beat him down. Um, I mean, if you look at any of the top 5 fighters, I think they're competitive. But as far as the top dogs at 168, I'm sorry. I mean, put him against who is not really a 168 pounder, but put him against Boo Boo Andrade. I don't think Munguia beats him either. So I don't know. I just think that it's interesting to see so many people talk about um, how Munguia is the next guy for Canelo. Robert, here you go, man. And I appreciate you chiming in, bro. on this. Let me know where you're tuning in from. 12:13 over here, Central Time. Canelo thumping him in the arms and body, his arms down, and Canelo drops the bomb. Yeah, yeah, I see it. Um, I agree with you. I think that he wouldn't be able to handle those punches. And you saw that Munguia, um, he gets hit a lot. Like when Ryder was thumping him and was just popping him with some shots. I think if Ryder was a bigger puncher, I think it would have been a different story. I really do think it would have been a different story. Now you replace that with Canelo's punching power, thumping power, right? Hitting the arms. He's not a big guy and he's tall, but he's not a big guy, right? He was definitely wasn't bigger than Ryder, and he's definitely not bigger than Canelo. And Canelo as at a 168 pounder. I do feel like Canelo would just boom, 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 and just one of those shots, man, cut through the guard. Munguia would he'll taste the canvas. Right on, man. Arizona, that's where the fight took place. Are you in Phoenix, Arizona? Arizona, I've never been out there, man. I heard it's a great state. I heard Phoenix is beautiful. But yeah, man, I agree with you. I think that Canelo beats him down. And again, I think David Benavidez. What do you think about that, Robert? David Benavidez beats him down. I think any of these fighters beats him down. I don't see Munguia being coined like the next top contender for the top dog, which is Canelo or Benavidez. Now they're talking about, Berlanga or possibly against Diego Pacheco. Those are some interesting fights. I think put him against those dogs before he steps into Canelo. But to say, oh, um, the Mexican showdown with, hold on one second. Somebody was calling. Hopefully the audio didn't cut out. Okay. The Mexican showdown with, between Canelo and Munguia. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't think that's the Mexican showdown because we know that the true Mexican showdown would be against David Benavidez in September. That's the one that we want to watch, not Munguia. Okay. So, um, yeah, I just wanted to hop on live and just kind of talk a little bit about like my thoughts on it because I've been reading online and watching some of the videos about people talking about the fight and saying, "Oh, Munguia is this and Munguia is that." Not everybody, but there's quite a few that are saying that Munguia is the next top dog at 168 because he looked good. But again, Ryder had been beaten down already. He's been beaten down, and Ryder. I mean, no disrespect. I like Ryder. Like I think he's a very um, durable, puncher. From the UK, man. He's a good fighter. He's like a good dude too. Very respectful, good sportsmanship. I like Ryder. No, no, don't get me wrong, but I mean, come on, guys. I mean, he's not like he's average at best. Like he's not like a top dog. Sure he beat Danny Jacobs, but Danny Jacobs has been washed up, but I mean, put him against another fighter against Berlanga or a David Morrell, or put him against a David Pacheco will be a good fight. Let's see what he does there. But to put him against Canelo, I don't see it. I don't see it. Phoenix. Phoenix, man, it's crazy right now, but I lived along the border, which is probably just as crazy. Right on, man. Right on, man. Yeah, I appreciate you hopping in, man. Arizona in the house representing. Never been out to Arizona, man. Again, I heard it's a beautiful state. I'm in Texas, man. So we love our boxing down here as well. I heard Canelo fighting Big Charlo next. Yeah, man. Let's talk about that. So yeah, I'll be doing a lot more videos on what I feel, on the Canelo fight once it goes once the announcement is made. I'm pretty sure we're close to having the official announcement since May is not too far away, but we may hear something soon. Yeah, man. What do you think about that fight, Robert? Do you think what do you think about Canelo fighting Jamal Charlo, the brother? Let me know in the comment section, man. I am. Look, at the end of the day, here's something, man. I'm gonna talk about this, Robert, since you're here with me, man. Um, and I'm pretty sure I'll talk about this in the future. Here's my thing, man. And for the record, I am not like Canelo is the best. I mean, I call a spade a spade. I do feel like, there's some top dogs out there that I'm gonna give them the respect, their flowers. Crawford, right? Canelo, Javante Davis, although I think he changed his name. Um, Devin Haney, I'm going to give all the respect, right? to all the David Benavidez, all the monsters, all the top dogs out there. And Canelo is the top dog at 168, you know? And I will say this. Here's the funny thing about Charlo, Robert, and anybody watching this on the replay. Despite what you may think about Jermall Charlo, and I think people are a bit sour and they're not excited about that fight because we've seen David Benavidez uh, do well, right? He's improving, and everybody says David Benavidez is the next guy, right? It should be. I agree with that. 1000% agree with that. Not taking that away. But here's the thing. Um, and I know people are sour because they saw Charlo. They think this basically just part two, right? The second version. Although, yeah, I mean, okay, I'll get to that in a bit. But here's the funny thing about this whole Charlo. Real quick, Robert, I'm gonna post your stuff out here. Canelo wins it. Charlo breaks down because of mental, weakness. Yeah, and not to mention with Charlo, Jermall Charlo is he's the one who's been dealing with a lot of mental health challenges. So I do feel even the pressure uh, would affect him a lot more. I mean, he beat Jose Benavidez, but come on, I mean that was expected, right? And he looked, okay. He did what he had to do, but you could tell like, he was in his shape. His mind was gone. I mean, that would probably be his cash out with him. Um, and that'll be a send off, is what I'm saying. And I'm pretty sure Al Heyman is probably thinking about that too as well. He's like, well, just close out the brothers and get them out the way, Canelo, and then move on to bigger and bigger things, bigger and better things. Um, Here's the thing, though. It's really funny. Remember when everybody used to say Canelo was dodging Charlos? Remember that? Remember everybody and their mom was saying, "Oh, Canelo is dodging him. Canelo's dodging him," and the Charlos called him out, and they called him out, and this and this. Everybody was saying that Canelo was dodging and scared of Charlo. What's happening right now? Canelo put a beat down on Jermell Charlo, which everybody said that he was actually the better out of the two Charlos. Okay. And now he is fighting Jermall Charlo. And if he does fight him, which I believe all the rumors are pointing in that direction, I feel like it meets the 3-fight deal with PBC, the two Charlos, and then I'm thinking we're going to see a David Benavidez in September. That's what I'm thinking. But if it goes down that road, he will fight Jermall Charlo in May, and I do believe that Canelo will beat him down. I think it should be interesting. I mean, he's a bigger of the Charlo, but I do feel because of his mental health, and I think a lot of factors, like he's just not quite there. And I think if he was a little bit more dedicated, maybe a different story. But I think he'll probably put up a maybe, I don't know, maybe maybe a better fight than Jermell. I think going into it, I think he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder and say, "Well, baby, bro, um, didn't perform well. I'm gonna see if I can outdo him." I think there'll be a little bit of competitiveness in there. Like that's gonna be the chip on his shoulder that he may level up and do little bit better than his brother Jamel. But I do feel that Canelo will ultimately beat him. I think in the later rounds. Same thing. But let me see. Everyone did say that. Charlos did give him respect, though. No, you're right, Robert. Everybody did say that, and Charlos have been giving him nothing but respect. Although there was some few like interviews in the early on where the Charlos were, on some live streams and talking trash about Canelo, saying that he don't want none and bring on cinnamon, and I think that's why Canelo was upset at Jermell because he was like, you guys were talking mess, and there was a lot of like, I respect you, but the respect came later. But in the beginning, they were like, "Come on, bring on cinnamon. What's up? What's up? Where's the Mexican at?" And there were some videos out there circulating where they did talk a lot of mess. But now it's just, you know, it is what it is, right? But now they're showing a lot of respect because Jermell definitely showed a lot of respect to Canelo. So, but yeah, man, everybody said that, Robert. Like everybody said, everybody said that Canelo was scared of the Charlos. Now he's fighting them, and everybody's we don't want that. You're scared. You're not giving the fighters, the fight fans, the fight that we want, and all that. But as you guys know, like there is anybody who's been following boxing as long as I have. I've been into boxing. I've been following boxing for many, many years, over 20 years growing up, and I grew up in the era of the Sugar Ray Leonards and the Chavez and all that. Let me see. I'm going to drop this in there. They gave him praise when he took on the Boogeyman. Yeah, thank you, dude. And fought him 3 times. Remember that? Fought him 3 times. You know, But let me see 1 second. Oh, they gave him praise when he took on the boogeyman Triple G at that time. Oh, okay, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he took him on 3 times, man. I remember when everybody was saying that Canelo was ducking Triple G. Everybody was like, "Oh, Triple, he's ducking Triple G. He's ducking Triple G." He fought him. He fought him 3 times. I mean, Canelo has fought the top dogs. Now, does he fight them when everybody wants? No, but it's a boxing, it's a business, and they're building it up. And I think Canelo even said about Benavides. Now he's just saying there's a buildup, like there's a pattern here that people don't understand. So I'm thinking that Canelo's going to fight Charlo, Jermall, and then September, I think the buildup will be against David Benavides on Mexican Independence Day. I do feel like we do that. PBC, David Benavides, same camp, and I think we're going to see that happen. So I do see that. I don't see going back to the topic at hand is Munguia. Did Munguia make a statement? No, he did not make a statement. He beat an average fighter that had already been beaten down previously by the true top dog at 168, period. I need to like clip that and just share that with everybody. That's all he did, y'all. That's all he did. I've never been a big fan of Munguia. He's been his career has been very orchestrated. Um, sure, he has some natural abilities. Everybody's saying, well, he has Freddie Roach now. Freddie Roach is, training him. It's going to change. I'm sure you saw Munguia kind of bouncing a little bit. And Oscar De La Hoya was saying, well, maybe if we give him more time against Roach, with time with Roach, he's only going to get better. Munguia will get better for sure. But do I feel like he's even at 50% near or close to the skill level of David Benavidez or Canelo Alvarez? No, he's probably up there at the level of Edgar Berlanga or even a Diego Pacheco, Pacheco is still young, but I think Pacheco will give him hell. You know, David Morrell, that'll be an interesting fight. I think he'll get a taste of some power there. I just don't see Munguia, on that level. I don't. Let's see. All right, Robert, what do you think of Canelo going after Floyd's record of beating 23 champions? I believe Canelo has 18 or I did not know that, man. That's a fun fact. Robert, I didn't know that. I did not know that. I didn't know he was I think that's great. I mean, Canelo is I mean, he's fighting champions. I mean, when people were criticizing him, he fought, and beat all the top dogs at 168. He moved up, fought everybody, beat everybody. Then he went to 175 and fought Bivol. Didn't accomplish that goal, but he went up and tried. Okay, he took risks. He comes back down, and he fights, a Ryder and a couple fighters, and people were giving him a lot of shit. But I'm thinking, man, he just fought like all the champions. Like, what fighter, you're not seeing in the lightweight division or hell, I mean, even recently, I mean, it took forever for Crawford to fight Spence. Forever. So it took a minute. It's taking a minute for the lower weight class, which we're not used to seeing grown, watching boxing when back in the days where the welterweight, super welterweight, or super middleweight division. I mean, people fought each other. And Canelo is that throwback fighter. Again, I'm not like here to be like, hey, I'm a fanboy Canelo, because some of the haters would say, oh, he's just a fanboy. No, this is facts. This is fact. David Benavidez, same thing. He's a throwback fighter. He wants to fight nothing but the best. But one thing about Benavidez, when everybody was hollering about, oh, he's dodging me. David Benavidez is like, the time will come whenever Canelo and I fight. I'm not going to chase him. I'm going to do my own thing, do my best, forget about the rest, and then stick to my path. And he did that. So I don't know. That's why I got a lot of respect for that. All right, Robert, let's see. What if Canelo beats David and Arthur beats Bebo? Do you think Canelo fights Arthur? Ah, man, you know what? I do see that. I wouldn't. I do see that happening. I do see that happening. Um, yeah, I mean, Better Beef is a big dog. I think he's. What do you think about that fight? That fight right there. Ooh, that fight right there. Better Beef and um, Bevo. That's going to be a great fight. And Better Beef look good in this last fight. I don't know. It's going to be a really really good fight. I don't think Bebo has fought a fighter like a monster like Better Bebo. I think that's going to be a really good fight. I can't wait for that fight. That fight right there is going to be super exciting. I can't wait to cover that. But going back to your question, yeah, Robert. Um, yeah, if Canelo beats David, I wouldn't be surprised if and he fights Better Beef. Um, and I think he will ultimately go at 175 again. And I think that's it's going to be dangerous because he's adding more mileage to his career, and I think at that point he'll be probably close. He's been fighting a lot of really top dogs. It'll Anybody at 175 would be dangerous, and I think we all saw what happened with Bebo. That would be a dangerous fight, another competitive, dangerous fight for Canelo at 175, and then Better Beef. I think that that would be tough because that's a big boy. That's definitely a big boy. But I will say this, I do feel that Canelo's style um, is a lot more suitable against Better Beef than Bevo. I think that Bevo, like, he was just tough. I mean, he had that boxing abilities. He had the punching power to keep Canelo away, and he also used lateral movement, hard to hit. He had all the components to make it really hard for Canelo at 175. With Canelo's coming with the disadvantage of not having that punching power at 168. I think that's what happened. And I just think that with Better Beef, he does have the boxing abilities and counterpunching to really jump and make him competitive against Better Beef. But I do feel that the punching power will be the factor, and then Better Beef, as we all know, he'll come on strong and land some pretty big shots. So um, yeah, who wins? Man, I don't know, man. Canelo's a throwback, unifier weight division, something Floyd never did. Floyd never unified any. I didn't know that either, man. You're boxing, Robert. See, man, I should have just invited you on the show, bro. Just stick around. Are you subscribed to the YouTube channel? Obviously, you are, right? If not, man, hope to see you, man. I like your thinking, bro. I need to get you on and we just vibe. Um, yeah, man, Canelo is a throwback fighter, bro. I mean, I didn't know that Floyd. Yeah, see, here's the thing. He did fight champions, but he was very calculated. We all know that. He was very, very calculated. Um, but I mean, there's no arguing, he did fight the top dogs. He fought, the Miko Cottos and Marquez, which Marquez was going up and smaller. Diego Corrales. Or did he fight Diego Corrales? I don't think he did. But I mean, he fought a lot of top fighters. Oscar De La Hoya, we all know that. But Oscar De La Hoya was towards the end. Jorge Luis, Castillo, which, if you see the first one, I thought Castillo won that one. But anyways, we're not going to talk about that. And he fought Sugar Shane Mosley. He fought Zab Judah. And, he did fight a lot of top fighters. But I don't think he had the same. Sure, Mayweather made a lot of money. Hell of a defensive fighter. Not exciting at all to watch. Maybe in his early days. But he's not a rock star like Canelo. He's definitely not the rock star like he is. And he barely beat Cocaine Oscar. Oh, Robert, man, you tripping, man. Speaking of which, so actually, I watched the fight again, and I mean, it could you could also argue that Oscar beat him. Like, it was a really, really close fight. Yeah, it was a close fight. I mean, some of the shots that whenever you saw kind of Oscar kind of get desperate and pound some shots on him, they weren't connecting clean. But I mean, Oscar made it a dogfight. So I thought that was a really good fight. But yeah, you could say that he barely beat Oscar De La Hoya. By the way, I just saw a couple of days ago. I've been wanting to watch it. I watched the documentary, Oscar De La Hoya's documentary. Let me know if you watched it, man. It was actually pretty good. It was on HBO Max, and I watched it. It was actually very, very interesting. Very interesting. And then, De La Hoya in his heyday, a lot of respect, man. He was. I used to love watching him. Really talented fighter, and got to give respect to to Oscar. He's been through some stuff, but he fought everybody. That's one thing for sure. Oscar De La Hoya fought everybody. That's for sure. So I'll give him his flowers, Oscar. If you ever watch this, you fought everybody, man. You really did. But man, I don't know, some of the things that he goes on and talks about. Munguia made a statement, and I was like, that's what I put here on the right here on this on the headline, did Munguia make a statement? Did he really make a statement? No, he just beat an average fighter. Come on, calm down, Golden Boy, calm down. He is not making a statement. He just beat an average fighter. Chill out, chill out, chill out. Um, Let me drop this on you, man. Here, Mayweather avoided right hand fighters after he tasted Zab Judas and most of these right hands. Zab actually dropped Floyd. Yeah, man. Yeah. You're right. You're right. Absolutely, you're right. And Mayweather was smart. I mean, that's one of the things. He's also took very good care of his career, but he did avoid right hand fighters. He really did. That's actually a good observation there because I did notice that as well because he did have trouble against those fighters. Um, and I felt like, even though he went to, what was it? Mayweather went up to 154, right? I think he went to 154. But I mean, look what Canelo's done. I mean, Canelo, small frame. I mean, even Pacquiao, if you looked at Pacquiao, like I always thought that regardless of what people think about the Pacquiao Mayweather fight, boring fight, when you look at accomplishments of accolades, I do feel that Pacquiao is a much more superior fighter. If you look at like what they've accomplished throughout the whole boxing career, and going up against the odds, and really going from like really lightweight up to like Canelo, going to where he was at when he started, going to 168, and even going to 175 and taking a shot there. Um, you got to respect that. I think people don't talk about that. I don't care if Mayweather did beat 23 champions. Yes, respect that. But when we talk about risk and going up different divisions and beating champions in different divisions, now that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. Pac-Man did yeah, that's right. He did 8 divisions. I believe so. You're right. I believe you're correct on that. And see, that's pretty damn. I mean, those are the accolades. Those are the champions that I don't care if Mayweather is 50-0, and he made the most money out of every boxer. But if you look at what Pacquiao has done, and when you look at what Canelo did, um, man, I mean, those are some big accomplishments. So, um, what else? I think that's pretty much it. Robert, man, it was good. It was good vibing with you, man. I really enjoyed talking with you, man. I'm glad that you joined the live stream again, man. It's been a minute since I've recorded this, so if anybody catches us on a replay, I started this YouTube channel strong, man. I just did it on a whim because I just love boxing. I've been wanting to do a boxing channel for so long. And then I just started it, and I was getting a lot of subs, and I was catching some good traction, and people were interacting and all that. And I even got a few hate comments. I'm like, all right, yes, we're doing something. And then past couple of months, I've been really busy doing other things. But man, I love boxing, Robert. I think I've seen you on the comment section sometimes. I think you posted before, right? But yeah, man, I really want to get back to it. And obviously, 2023 was a great year in boxing, and I think we're going to see more boxing in 2024. So I'm really looking forward to covering more boxing fights and all that. So, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it, bro. Um, Hold on one second. Yeah, man. Yeah, I have posted. Cool, man. Yeah, man. Thank you for catching, for watching, the YouTube channel, man, and for subbing. More content coming up, man. I feel like sometimes I actually was gonna do a pre-show fight for this one, but that's why I'm doing a post. But I'm gonna be doing a lot more videos, a lot more content. And if you have any like ideas, Robert, hit me up, man, in the comment section. Anything that you would like for me to cover. But of course, I'm going to be covering all the big fights. And whenever they announce that Charlo Canelo fight, I'll be watching. I'll be doing a video on that one. And of course, we got some big fights coming up, right? What do you think, man? We have Pitbull Cruz versus damn, I forgot Rolly, and then we got Thurman versus, oh man, my mind went blank. Who's Thurman gonna fight? Oh, Tim Sue. So those are going to be some really big fights, man, coming up. So what else is coming up? There's some other boxing fights. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with David Benavidez in his next fight. I think he'll have like a stay busy fight coming up. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Jaime Munguia and all these other fighters. So I think we're gonna have another great year coming up. Don King card back in the '90s. Oh man, bro. So we're in the same era. Don King was the man. Isn't it crazy that he was? I didn't even know he was still he was still promoting fights, and Adrian Broner was one of his fighters. I'm like, that's when you know, like, things have gone downhill because Don King was he was such a bullshitter, right? With the flags and all that. I remember I used to watch him and Viva Mexico, Viva Puerto Rico. He was such a comical a promoter, but he was a hell of a promoter in his heyday. So yeah, man, that's the time that you know the era that I grew up in, bro. Just watching you know, Tito Trinidad and Vargas and Oscar de la Hoya, Julio Cesar Chavez, Terry Norris, um, who else? Roger Mayweather, Manomero Paez. I mean, there were so many fighters, man, out there back in the days, man. Vinny Paciencia, Hector Camacho. Yeah, bro, I've been in this space for quite some time, man. All my family grew up in boxing. My grandfather was a boxer. My father boxed for a little bit before he went full-time musician. I did a little amateur boxing myself, so I know what it's like to kind of lace them up and get in the ring. So I love boxing, bro. Oh, Tyson, yeah, man. Oh, like man, Robert. You know what, man? Hit me up, man. We got to do we got to do a video sometime, bro. We got to maybe chop it up and talk some boxing. Tyson, Chavez, Tito, Ricardo Lopez, Finito Lopez, Julian Jackson, the Hawk. Come on, bro. Fist pump, fist pump, fist pump. Simon Brown. Oh, Simon Brown was a beast. Underrated, man. Simon Brown was a beast. Yeah, man. Those are, you know, those are the fight, man. Chapo Rosario. I mean, that was kind of before when I got into, you know, Chapo Rosario, those guys. But I remember when I discovered Chavez, I went back and watched all the fights back then. Um, I was just a street fighter. Hey, man, you know what though? A lot of boxers start from the streets, man. I mean, that's what they call it. It's the gentleman sport. Actually, yeah, the gentleman sport. But all the fighters that we see, but they're all street fighters, man. Fernando Vargas and you know all those really you know gutter type of fighters, man. It was all street. Like, we used to lace them up, dude. Back when I was like in I think it was like a seventh or eighth grade, we used to put on boxing gloves on, and we used to go in the back. You know how it is, man. Back before it's on YouTube now, I see it all the time. We used to go in the backyard and just lace it up and box. And I remember we would put like nicknames, like I'm Chavez, I'm this, and we would mix it up and just rumble all the time. Man. Those are the good old days. My father used to watch from the back, and yeah, man, I used to love. We used to be in it, man. So I love boxing, man. I love boxing. And again, man, I just wanted to start this YouTube channel to you know that's what I call a jab talk. You know, to jab about talk, you know, about boxing, and share my passion with all of you. I know when I see a bunch of YouTubers, man. By the way, who do you follow? Who are some of the YouTubers that you follow, and why do you like them? Let me know, Robert. I'm curious to know. I was like 44. Oh man, hey, got knocked out one. Hey, bro. Okay, shit. You should have gone professional, Robert. Shit, if you have skills like that, bro. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Yeah, let me know what YouTube channels you know you would like to check out, and would be curious to know. And I said I know that if I stay consistent with this, man, I know I would be on it, man. Oh, what's up, my boys? Hey, see, I want y'all to introduce. I'm gonna introduce y'all because my boy IMD, and I forgot your name, bro. 1666 Guru. What up, Big O? What's up, man? My boy all the way from California. Meet Robert. I've been just being Robert, man. I was impromptu. I was gonna do a pre-recorded video, man, and I decided, F it, I'm gonna go ahead and do a live stream and talk about the Munguia and Ryder fight. I'm about to leave, um, but catch the replay, and I share a little bit of my thoughts on the Munguia fight. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about the Munguia fight. Oh, what's going on, man? Raul Blanco, good luck to you and your channel. Thanks, bro. Thanks for swinging by, man. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you very much, man. I decided again, man, just to do a little live stream impromptu just to see, instead of doing a pre-recorded, just see who was going to be out there. And I had my boy Robert. We've been talking about boxing and talking about this Munguia Ryder fight, which you guys can watch the replay on that. And let me know what you think about last night's fight. Um, did Munguia make a statement? That's the question. Robert, oh, Showbiz. Yeah, oh, man, he's hilarious, bro. He is hilarious. You know, when I look at Showbiz YouTube channel, I'm like, man, if I were to take this very serious, it would be something like him because he does like the live stream, he does commentary, he's fun, he's entertaining. I got a lot of respect for him, man. Yeah, if I were to like model like my YouTube channel, it would be something with like Showbiz because he's in the mix, man, and I think he does this full time. Just talks boxing, you know, and he's doing it on a big level. So I really like him. Good stuff, man. And then Tone, who's Tone? Oh, Tony, is that your name? I think it your name, Tone. I believe so. Let me know. Let me know. It's hard to tell how much Nello took out. It's hard to tell how much Nello took out of. Yeah, you know what, man? My guy, you know, we were talking about when I was talking to Robert about this. Look at me, y'all join, and I want to keep on going. I promise I'm about to leave, man, because I'm supposed to watch uh, the Ravens game, with a couple friends and my boy. Um, Ravens and the with the Chiefs. All right, so my guy, we were talking about how like Nello, everybody's saying Munguia looked good, but if you look at Ryder, this is a different Ryder compared to what we saw against Nello. You know, Canelo, he looked beaten down. Canelo put a beat down on him, and of course he was not going to be the same against Munguia. So people are saying that he made a statement and Munguia finished him and all this other stuff. But if you think about it, this was not the same Ryder. This was not the same Ryder. Period. It wasn't. It wasn't. It was a different Ryder. It was a beaten down Ryder, and Munguia did what he had to do. But does that mean that he's up to Canelo's level? No, no. Period. I don't. I don't. That's my thought. Um, Robert, you can't. I know I can, bro. I know I can do it. And believe it or not, man, I wanna. If I just commit myself to doing it and just covering all the boxing, I know I can make it happen, bro. I appreciate it, bro. I might. You know, you never know. You never know what could happen, bro. This thing could take off. Raul, I don't mind seeing Canelo versus Munguia in May as long as we get to see Benavidez in September. Raul, you know what we're just talking with Robert before you jumped in here, man, is that I don't think we're going to see Munguia. I really don't. I really don't. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see Jermall. All the rumors are saying that Jermall Charlo. We're going to see Charlo in May, and then September. I do believe that we're going to see David Benavidez. He's PBC. Canelo has a 3-fight deal. I think it was Charlo, and Benavidez, and I think that was the path that was set for Canelo early on. And I think we're going to see that. Maybe we may see Munguia next year because I know Canelo's coming into May into September, but I think we'll see maybe Munguia. Well, we're just talking. I think Munguia should fight a Berlanga, or he should fight, even a Diego Pacheco, which I know that's not going to happen. Even a David Morrell, just to see how good he really is. But I'll tell you what, Canelo beats Munguia easy within 6 rounds. David Benavidez beats Munguia within 6 rounds. I think and that's respectfully because I know Munguia can take a punch, and I think even David Morrell could probably make it competitive against Munguia. I just don't see Munguia. He doesn't have it, bro. I just don't. That's just my take. Munguia, look, he improved. He did, man. He controlled his distance. He's definitely made some improvement, but I just don't think that when we saw Canelo get better with every round, you saw him progress substantially. But with Munguia, he's making baby steps, but I just don't see him at that level, bro. I think he's at 50% at best. I don't think he's all that special. Canelo stops Munguia. Yep, I agree with you, bro. I hope it happens big for you. Big O, I will check you out as long as, hey, man, I will, bro. I appreciate you. You have been there since day one, all the way representing from California, my boy, always commenting. And now my boy Robert Estrada in the house, all the way from Arizona. And I see you, Raul, as well. Thank you guys. Hey, listen, when we post sometimes people quit because they don't see like the applause or they don't see people like joining the live. But again, I went into it knowing that I haven't been posting in a while because I've been so busy. I'm like, let me just go live and my gente will show up, man. Whoever shows up and we'll make it happen, man. So I love boxing and I'll just do this even for fun. I'm not looking to be at that showbiz level. If it happens, it happens. If not, it's okay. I'll show up regardless because I love the sport and I love jabbing about it with you guys. Raul, what do you think about Canelo versus? Man, Raul, that's gonna be a whole different video, bro. I feel like we can go on for days and days. That's a 50-50 fight, man. I do feel like Canelo has, because of his experience and his punching power, and because he does have a high ring IQ. Um, I do feel like he has some things that can make it very dangerous for David Benavidez. Where I see it really interesting is that Canelo hasn't been as defensively sound with his defense. We saw with Ryder, he got hit. Even with the Charlo, even when Jermell had his little moments, I mean, Canelo could get hit. The man could take a punch, but I think if he gets hit with those rapid fire punches that David Benavidez throws, it could probably turn turn the key real quick on Canelo. It'll make him think twice. So I do feel like both of them have different skill sets and strengths that and weaknesses that play out. But I do have 50. Is it 50-50? I don't know, man. I want to say Canelo is 60-40. I do feel like Canelo still has a little bit of an edge due to experience, punching power, and Canelo has seen it all. And I do feel like it'll be a big test for Benavidez. What do you think about it, Ro? Robert, who will David fight next to Canelo? I don't know, Robert. That's a good question, dude. I don't know. I haven't really thought about who he will fight next. It may just be a busy fight. Um, I don't know. I don't know who will fight next. We all wanted. I remember I wanted him to fight Charlo. Remember? There was talks when and Jamal Charlo was talking trash about going to 160, but he didn't want the smoke. He was like, nah, he stopped talking about it. But David called him out, and Charlo didn't want that. So I thought that was kind of funny, but I don't know. I don't know who's in the fight, man. I'm curious to know what you guys think. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I got Munguia. Oh, really? You got Munguia over David Benavidez? What, bro? Really? Okay. All right. Interesting. 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 Yeah, Robert. I'm with Robert, brother. I'm with Robert. I think David kills Munguia. Easy work, man. I just didn't see Munguia do much, bro. Munguia gets hit a lot. And when Ryder had his moment, he was getting tagged. And what we're talking about before you guys got here is that if Munguia gets tagged like that against Canelo or David Benavidez or even David Morrell, it'll be a different story. It'll be a different story. And these guys will punch you and they'll hit you they'll do, with the body punches and do those sneaky uppercuts. I don't think Munguia will be able to take that. And David is a big boy too. I don't think he'll be able to compete against that fire, man. I just my opinion. Munguia, best asset is durability. He does. He's very durable. He has a good chin. Um, he throws. He has his moments where he could put the pressure and throw volume. His endurance was on point. Like he was punching and punching and punching. He was going at it. So we saw Munguia do it, on a big level. So Munguia definitely has good skills, man. I just don't see Munguia um, on that Canelo level, man, or Benavidez. I really don't. We have to see him against some other, contenders up there. Well, questionable gas tank in his fights lately. Who's that? What are we talking about, Ro? Questionable gas tank. Was it Canelo? Canelo can knock out David because David comes forward. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Robert. I'm thinking that'll be what Canelo would love to do, and I think that Canelo has the skill set to be able to make those adjustments to beat him. Canelo versus David at 70-30. Canelo. Yeah, David has been dropped by. Oh yeah, that's right, Gabriel. I forgot his name, but he did get dropped. David squares shells. Yep. And he can't fight off the back foot. Canelo beats David in 9. I mean, that's a good one. That's a good prediction right there, man. I mean, I'm not going to be against it. I think it'll go maybe in the late rounds where Canelo could finish him, but I don't know. We need to see that fight September, man. We need to see it. Raul, man, I feel like Munguia hasn't fought a legit natural 168 like Benavidez. Exactly. Oh yeah, Plant. I forgot about Plant. Yeah, Caleb Plant. See, a fight like that, we need to see him with those type of fighters because we know what Canelo could do at 168. Or maybe he'll fight like a Caleb Smith, right? Isn't Caleb Smith at 168? Apparently he's not going to retire after all, so maybe Hearns could kind of mix it up with that. But I don't know. I don't see it. I don't. Again, I don't. He needs to fight a legit 168. Ryder was just a guy who again got beaten down by Canelo, and he was tailor made for Munguia to look good and to make a statement. But I didn't see it. David will hit Munguia more, but Munguia punches much harder. Really? You think Munguia punches harder than David? Much like Chavez versus Taylor. Interesting take, man. I appreciate that. You sharing. It's going to be interesting. Munguia, yeah, bro. I was thinking about that. Demerchenko. Yeah, yeah. And that guy was tough. That guy was tough. I watched it again, and that was a really close fight. Yeah, I think it could have gone the other way for sure. Munguia stops David. Yeah, Canelo. Is Caleb Plant the first black fighter David has fought? Uh, is he the first black fighter? No, I don't think so, man. He's not the first black fighter. David has fought. Robert got jokes over here, man. I think Yeah, he's definitely not the first man. I think he's fought some other fighters, although he's fought like a lot of brawlers, you know. But isn't it crazy though how like David Benavidez could fight that style? Like we everybody thought that, you know, with Bubu Andrade, you know, they were like, oh man, you know, with Bubu, man, slick, awkward, really awkward, you know, hard to hit. What is he gonna do against David? And David beat the shit out of him. Bad. What was it? Timothy Bradley. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Timothy Bradley on one of the videos I saw, he said he called David Benavidez the sweet science killer. He called him the sweet science killer because you know even that you know that style you know of you know move and box and hit and be hit and all that, but David finds a way to just lock you up and hit you. I mean, he's like almost like a street fighter. He's a big boy, and he's got some skills, and he doesn't look like he can hit you hard. That's what maybe you think that maybe Munguia hits harder than David. But you know, I beg to differ, man. I think that David is one of those fighters where he's long range, where he hits you, and then for some reason it doesn't look dangerous. You saw it against Caleb Plant too. It doesn't look like it's impacting or affecting them, but it's hurting them. Like he hits hard, man. And when he sits in those punches, good lord, Munguia should have gotten a draw and a win. Yeah, yeah, that was questionable, bro. I do believe it is slick. Now I always say doo doo. That's why you call him doo doo. Nobody, how many people had doo doo beating Canelo? Yeah, nah, not at all, dude. I think David Benavidez is the most dangerous fighter for Canelo due to his accuracy, efficiency, and combination punch connect, relentless pressure, work rate. Charlo didn't test Canelo. Benavidez will. Raul, I 1000% agree with you, bro. 1000% agree with you. I think that Canelo um, will have a big test against Benavidez. Big test, big test. Um, I think you know. I don't know. I mean, I agree with my boy in Cali. You know, I think he's you know I do have Canelo having the edge again due to experience and the things that I mentioned earlier. But man, I think David Benavidez got the skills to really make it interesting for Canelo. A lot more interesting than all the other fighters. I think he's almost kind of like where Better Be would be, like a punching power, relentless pressure. He'll always come at you. The only thing is when he shells up and stuff, I just see him kind of shelling up and Canelo pop 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 and just you know and taking those shots and moving back and doing a lot of feints. I just see Canelo doing that and making it really interesting. Um, David is, and then at 168, David is the biggest threat, but still 73. I agree with you, man. I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree. Um, here we go. Mexican boxing number one. Boy, look at that. Came in through. I think you're new to the channel, man. I'm not sure if you're. I don't think I've seen you before. Are you subscribed? Let me know. Jaime, the next superstar in boxing, Golden Boy, bringing him up right. Man. All right. I wish we could continue going, but I really got to head out because man, all the homies came through. Mexican boxing number one. Thanks for checking out the for hopping in, but watch my replay, man. um, and I'll share a little bit of my thoughts about whether or not I believe that Jaime is the next superstar in Golden Boy. I don't know, bro. Agree to disagree. I think that Munguia has some good skills. He's getting better, but I don't think he's the next superstar, brother. I really don't. Um, I'm curious to know why do you think he's the next superstar? Let me know. Let me know. Remember Smith and Bevo's arms, David will get the same. Yeah, I do see. I do see. And you know, even though David is big, but I do feel like I could see Canelo just pop, pop, just because of the height. Um, just Canelo has too many tricks, man. I think Canelo has too many tricks to have the edge against Benavidez. But still, we want to see it, y'all. Right? We want to see it. We got to see that fight. We got to see that fight. No doubt about it. I think it's gonna happen. That was a great card, Golden Boy. It showed PBC I was done. Yeah, no, it was a good card. It was some good fights, man, for sure. I really enjoyed it last night. I think it was a really good fight card. I enjoyed it. I agree, man. Thanks for coming through, man, and saying hello. Jaime needs a lot of help. I do, hey, Robert. I do, man. I think he needs a lot of help too. Oh, Robert always throwing in some good questions here, man. Prime Oscar versus Canelo. Oh, damn. All right, this might be the last question, man, because you're gonna hit me with these good questions. You keep on bringing me in, Robert, with these questions. Prime Oscar versus Canelo. At what division? At what weight division? That's my counter question. At what division? Because Oscar De La Hoya was a bad boy in his heyday. He was a bad boy in the lightweight division, and even in the welterweight division. He was a bad boy. But I just don't. I don't know. I just I don't know. That's a good fight because Oscar was a bad boy. I like watching Oscar. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. Sometimes some of the things he says, sometimes these days, I'm like, bro, really? Like Munguia is like making a statement. I don't know, bro. I don't know, Oscar. The whole thing with Ryan Garcia, thinking he's like the golden boy. Not, I don't think so, Oscar. I feel like David Benavidez can stand his ground. Ryder did it for 12. Yeah, yeah, that's true, man. That's true. I think it'll be a good fight, dude. I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be a really, really interesting fight to see that. And I do believe that Benavidez, who also can take a hit, will stand his ground. We just got to see it, man. We just got to see it. I just hope that we see it. I really do. 147 or 154. I don't. I think that with at the higher weight, Robert, I think Canelo. I favor Canelo at 154 for sure, for sure at 154. Um, I think that Oscar was in the lightweight welterweight division. 147. He was pretty unstoppable. It would be 154 would be interesting. Curious to know your thoughts, man. What do you think? But remember, whenever Oscar De La Hoya went at weight and went into the middleweight division, I mean, you saw what happened against Bernard Hopkins, and I just think that he was a bit too small. And the way Canelo's body is right now, I think it'll be interesting. But man, Prime Oscar was a bad boy. I'm not gonna lie, man. Canelo, Oscar lost all his biggest fights against prime fighters, Mosley, Trinidad, Hopkins, and I thought he lost. Oh, really? I Corte? No, bro. Are you talking about I Corte? You say Corte because he beat I Corte pretty bad, right? I think he beat. Didn't he like stop him? I don't know about that one. Um, yeah, Mosley. That was a competitive fight, the first one. Yeah, you're right. Although Oscar was technically beating Trinidad. Trinidad was one of my favorite. I love watching Trinidad. And then Hopkins. I mean, Hopkins just demolished him. Yeah. Yeah, people forgot Oscar De La Hoya was once to defend his titles 5 times in the same year for the first. Yeah, man. 1997 was versus. Yep, you're right. Oh, man. Mexican boxing knows his boxing. That's right, man. Yeah, no. We were talking about this before you joined in. Mexican boxing that Oscar De La Hoya, he fought everybody. Everybody. I just finished watching his documentary a couple days ago. I'm not sure if you guys seen it, but it was a really good documentary. And man, he fought all the top dogs. All the top dogs. And yeah. I have a lot of respect for Oscar De La Hoya and his boxing career because he fought champions. He's one of the few fighters or throwback fighters back then that fought. Oscar arguably beat Trinidad and Mosley. Yeah, I agree, Raul. I agree with that statement. I agree with that. Oscar got the nod, but in my opinion, Corte. Are you sure? Are we talking about the same thing, brother? Corte? I Corte? Which one are you talking about? He said. I think he was talking about Corte. I think it's I Corte. Um, Oscar lost to Strum, in my opinion. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I could have sworn he beat I Corte, dude. Pretty badly, didn't he? I could have. I don't know. I need to watch that fight. I don't know. I watched all his fights, but I guess I need to go back and watch that one. Go check it out. All right, my guys. Man, I can continue. This is the thing about live streaming. Anybody who's done live streaming understands this. You could do a live stream, and because of you guys asking great questions and engaging and interacting, it's hard to get off. But I gotta go watch a watch boxing fight. I have to go watch the Chiefs and Ravens, man. What do you guys think, man? Let me see. Chiefs or Ravens? My dream match is Morales versus dude, Raul. You're killing me with these questions, bro. You're making them good. I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to come back with that one, Raul. There's so many dream matches, bro. There's so many dream matches. Morales versus Marquez would have been a Mexican showdown. Mexican showdown. I'm gonna screenshot this, man, and I'm gonna have to make a note of that. I'll share that with you next time, Raul. I have a few, bro. I have a few. Ryan was not even close to Oscar. Did that? Yeah, man. Ryan hasn't even won the title. Yeah, you know what? Let's not even talk about. It gets addictive, right? It gets very addictive, man. Um, it's just you want to continue going on and on and on and on. Watch fights. Watch Franklin versus Johnson. Oh, Chacon versus Edward. Oh, shoot. Okay. I forgot my boy in Cali, man. He knows his boxing. He's an OG. Jaime's bigger star than David. He sold more than David's own. Oh, man. I didn't know that. That's a fun fact, bro. I didn't know that. I didn't know that he sold more than 1K. He definitely packed that house for sure. He packed it out, man. I was surprised when I saw the crowd. I was like, yo, he packed that shit out, man. 50, is it what, 55,000 in attendance? Sold out. So, I mean, but David brings in the crowd too, though. But I do feel like David, I don't know. It's interesting because I do feel like David's a fight fan. Like celebrities love David Benavidez, and I just think that he's a lot more like fight fans really respect David Benavidez. Hi, man. People watch him, but I don't know, man. I'm just Munguia. I'm just not a Munguia. He just hasn't grown on me, bro. I just don't see it. Franklin versus Johnson was light heavyweight. I need to go check that out, bro. Chacon versus Edwards at 130. Come on, man. Bring in some good boxing. Let's go Ravens. Enjoy the game, bro. Enjoy the games too, man. I'm hoping that did you guys hear that everybody's predicting that supposedly NFL has this rigged and it's supposed to be the Ravens in San Francisco? I was watching on TikTok, and my boy was telling me that it's supposed to be that's the set. I hope it's not like that, man. Um, I'm a Houston Texans fan, so the Texans got beat by the Ravens. I'm like, let's go Ravens, let's go. Why not? Let's go, let's go. Yeah, David doesn't sell for some reason. I think he's bigger in Arizona. Oscar Valdez. I didn't know that, bro. I didn't know that at all. I know David sells in his hometown, but I didn't know Jaime was pulling like that. David became bigger because Tyson called. Yeah, I agree with you with that. I agree. I think he got some celebrity endorsement, and when he got Tyson, I mean, he changed his whole. What was it? The La Bandera Roja, right? Or something like he had a different name, and he changed his name to the Mexican Monster. It's the ones who steal the streams. That David is more popular, but the people who were paid to watch by Jaime is more popular to them. Well, man, if you saw the attendance yesterday, man, it's clear as day that Jaime can bring a crowd, which I think, man, yeah, I guess if he fought Canelo, that would definitely be a Las Vegas fight. But they would definitely pack that fight. But I also think that he would pack the fight with David Benavidez. So my guy, yes, man, that's what I'm pulling for. I'm pulling for Ravens versus Lions, and I'm hoping that Lions pulls off the Cinderella story and beats them. And I'm actually a Chicago Bears fan, but man, I hope Lions pulls it off. Man, see how we live stream? We're talking about a bunch of stuff here. Mexican boxing agree, yeah, man. Mexican came through, man. Good seeing you. Yeah, that's the only reason. Other than that, he isn't, and lost more fans after he said, "Don't call me the Mexican Monster, just Monster." Yeah, yeah. That's a good point, man. That's a good point. All right, guys, listen. Mexican Monster, my boy from Cali, Tone, Raul, my boy who came through, Robert Estrada, and then we have somebody else who came through. Hey, man, listen, guys. I want to thank y'all for checking out this live stream. It was random. I was feeling it. I was gonna do pre-recorded, but I'm like, let me go ahead and just see who's out there watching. And my favorite people showed up, man. So thank you for watching the videos. I'm gonna do more of this, man. I want to do more. I keep on telling myself it's just I got work and I got a bunch of other things, and of course, some of the fights. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the fights excite me more than others, and I'll hop on when I see fights that are really kind of intriguing. But we have a lot of good boxing where we're talking about, Cruz with Rolly. We got Thurman and Tim. And so I'll be back for those fights. And then, of course, we'll see what Canelo happened with Canelo and most likely Charlo. And then we'll see other things, David and all the, 2024, I do feel like we're going to have a lot of great boxing fights. So thank you guys for checking out the channel, for supporting. And I appreciate you, my guy. All the way from Houston to Cali, Mexican boxing #1, Raul Estrada, Robert Estrada. Anybody else who checked it out, man, thank you guys so much for checking out. Go Ravens. I'll see you guys in the next live or next video. All right, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank you so much, man. Jab, jab, talk, baby. Let's go. Cheers.